Oh, thank you.
Welcome to a bonus episode of Vulnerability Time. I want to share something with y'all. I was spending time with Holy Spirit and my higher powers, universe, the spirit guide, Jesus, just all the higher powers. And they reminded me and told me this. And this needs to be said. You don't have to be perfect in order to be loved. You don't have to be perfect in order to be worth it. That needs to be said so loud. Am I right? You don't have to be perfect to be worth it. I'm speaking to us, though, especially those of us, who beat ourselves up, whose our heart is very empathetic and sensitive, more than others to our actions. I'm speaking to us especially, but this message is for anybody. The thing about worth, okay, worth is given. Worth is value. For those of us who don't feel like we deserve good stuff, you're right, because deserving is earned. That is so low. That is should not even be in our vocabulary. Why? Because we are better than having to deserve something. We are worth. Worth is given because you have value just as much as you have value on and worth on your good days. That does not change on your bad days. That doesn't change on your brutal days. That doesn't change on your great days. The same amazing, just valuable worth that you are on your good days it stays the same. Just as much value. Let me restate that. Just as much as you are valuable and worthy, more than you can ever imagine on your good days, that doesn't change on your bad days. That does not change. You don't have to be perfect to be worth it. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't. Deserving, throw that out the vocabulary. Throw that out the vocabulary. We are so much better than having to even be prisoner to that word deserving, that terrible word, that shameful word. It's just like, I'm a human being. $100 doesn't deserve. It is just worth. It is worth. It can be stomped on. It could have look bad and just look brutal. It could be ripped a little bit, but guess what? We still can spend that $100. So that dollar bill, that paper that has no emotion, that can't even really verbally speak, that paper that can't even cry, that's a piece of paper that we give value to. No matter how ugly it looks, no matter how brutal it looks, it doesn't matter. It is worth. It is worth. People look at that $100 bill and they say, oh my God, that's $100. They're not saying, oh, well, I don't know if I want to pick up that $100 bill, or I don't know if I want to spend that $100 bill because it looks a little dirty. It looks a little dirty, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that on the road, or I'm just going to not spend it. I'm going to throw it away because it looks dirty. It looks brutal. It looks bad. It just doesn't look like it deserves $100. Nobody does that. No, not one person does that. Not one person does it. And if they do that, it's because they have way too much money. I'm talking to you, Jeff Bezos, my ex-husband. But I can't help but to support Amazon. I just can't help it. But yes, so folks, I will repeat this again. I don't know who needs to hear it. I know good and fucking well I needed to hear it. And I need to tell myself this enough. And though I'm saying I need to tell myself this enough, if I'm being vulnerable, I probably won't tell myself this enough until I absolutely finally learn my lesson. I'm like, okay, things are getting bad. Now I really got to tell myself this constantly. See, when it comes to a lot of things, not everything, but when it comes to a lot of things, I'm more reactive rather than proactive. Like, I wait till, not with all things, but a lot of things, I wait until it gets bad and then I react, rather than being proactive and, doing what needs to be done so it doesn't get bad. But that is me. Story of my life sometimes, not all the time. But yes, one more time for the folks in the back. You don't have to be loved. You don't have to be perfect in order to be loved. You don't have to be perfect in order to be worth it. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Vulnerability Time. Stay tuned. We got a couple more, and by a couple more, I mean like 5, maybe 6, 7 more episodes left of this season, and then I will begin recording for season 5. So stay tuned as well. Y'all know I'm gonna release an update at the end of this season on when season 5 will air. Thank y'all for making this podcast the top 14% most followed in the world. Also, y'all go rate this on Apple Podcasts. Give it some 5-star. Give some feedback, please. Yes, rate this. Help that algorithm get out. Thank y'all so much for making this the top 14% most followed podcast in the world. Also, I just got on YouTube with the podcast, so go ahead and support there. It just started, so I need some subscribers and some likes and some comments in order to get the algorithm going, just to spread the word and the podcast to everybody. Thank y'all so much for the support. It is very much obliged. That's my new favorite word, by the way. I annoy my best friends with that word. I gotta stop, don't I? Obliged.